Anyway,
And we'll get to
so Steven Crowder decided to use this opportunity to just fucking straight up shit on MLK. So we're going to take a look at
the
that.
crack whores, and we'll get to the orgies. We'll get to all of that, which a lot of you don't know about MLK. 5 things you don't know about MLK. Bet you didn't expect to hear MLK and crack whores.
What?
Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway, I think you have 12-year-old white youths trying to bait you. Yeah, probably. And it will probably get worse here. But before it gets worse, it will get better. The top of the hour ad break is upon us. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5. You could do that for free with a Twitch Prime. This is going to be probably the most racist thing that he's done, I suspect. Here's the woman ad break now.
MLK Junior Day.
Yeah, Junior.
I always need to clarify, Junior.
Yes.
Because some people are like, middle child?
Could be the second. No,
It could be the second.
There was
not
4,
the
I
second.
think.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah.
Could be like
Junior.
George Foreman.
They're all named George.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me be really clear about this. I like a lot of what MLK Jr. had to say. I certainly think that his speech has been, pardon my language, shit on by today's left, where he talked about the content of character.
Yeah.
These were values that we would all align ourselves with.
Yeah.
However, MLK did become far more radical as life went on, and there's a lot that you don't know about MLK Jr. And I want to be clear, there are values, of course, that he espoused that we agree with.
Yeah.
But the man was flawed, like a lot of men. But the issue here is, if it's going to be a national holiday while you're tearing down statues of people who fought against slavery, like Abraham Lincoln, or even people who freed slaves.
Not a single person has ever advocated to tear down a statue of Abraham Lincoln. That is a complete falsehood. There's not a single instance where that's even happened, even by like right-wingers that are trying to fucking prove a point by fake getting angry at Abraham Lincoln.
Upon their death.
Also, I love the argument that, like, you know, MLK fought against segregation, and that is just simply on the other side of the fucking equation of people who fought to continue slavery. Again, you could only feel this way if you were a gigantic racist piece of shit.
That's what we're talking about, George Washington or Jefferson.
You're just going to pretend that statues and items like that being defaced didn't happen? No, I do think that statues and items like that were defaced, just not of Abraham Lincoln, but of slavers, of people like Robert E. Lee, who even in his own deathbed, the #1 L holder of all time, said there should be no statues or erected to me or the Confederacy because we took the permanent L. The only reason why they actually erected those monuments and statues was not to commemorate the Confederacy, but to actually whitewash the legacy of the Confederacy. This was a designated move. Okay, this was a movement called the Daughters of the Confederacy that worked to whitewash what the Confederacy actually did. That's why you still hear idiots fucking say shit like Civil War was fought over, not over slavery, but states' rights. States' rights to what? Well, states' rights to own slaves, but let's not talk about that part. Also, you are a pathetic little cuck loser if you actually think that we should give participation trophies to a bunch of fucking absolutely just the worst losers that got fucking rolled, dumpstered, smoked by a bunch of fucking pussies in the North that didn't even know how to shoot a gun straight. Okay? Sorry. Get fucked. Okay? Get fucked. Get fucked. You got fucking clapped, domed, and also, unfortunately, they didn't go far enough. They should have murdered every single slaver.
Then you can't have a statue and you can't have an MLK Jr. Day because when
and yeah, the reason why a lot of those statues were erected outside of courthouses, black neighborhoods, shit like that was to reinstitute the racial hierarchy that they believed was honorable and just. That's precisely why it wasn't immediately done in the aftermath of the Civil War, but whenever there was racial conflict, like the Civil Rights Movement, for example. Okay? Google Daughters of the Confederacy circa, what? 1980 to 1930s? I don't understand what?
I'm about to tell you
We already mentioned that.
is a lot worse.
I didn't know a lot of this.
Yeah, and everything.
The wife of MLK actually gave his letters and all of his writings to somebody at Stanford, and he specifically formed MLK in a way that would be palatable. So he cut out all of the stuff that's
yeah,
all the
negative,
rough edges.
Right.
all the rough edges. So that's why we have and he advocated for the MLK Day.
right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. Everything
Don't
we're
get
about to share with you comes directly from congressional records, archived newspapers, MLK's own speeches. And I know the FBI is not an organization that I trust. Okay, I want to be very clear. However, none of the evidence that we'll be providing for you here has actually been refuted.
The fuck? Dude, Steven Crowder is a pedophile. Steven Crowder is literally a pedophile that only gets off on having sex with children. Everybody knows this. None of the evidence that I am stating here has ever been refuted. What's the evidence for it? Me saying Steven Crowder is a pedophile. Go ahead, disprove that now. Never been refuted. Sorry, you're a pedophile now. Notice how that's not how this works? Notice how you can't make a fucking argument like this when someone is just slandering you? You can't actually, try to disprove that slander. Shut the fuck up, idiot. This, by the way, was a hypothetical scenario. I do not know if Steven Crowder actually is a pedophile or not.
By anyone in the MLK camps.
Yeah, they just don't like how they obtained it.
Right. It was surveillance transcripts that were reported by a guy named David Garrow. But he also, this is the biographer. He obtained these transcripts from the FBI. He was the official biographer on...
For God's sakes, you're banned on LSF Sheesh. I mean, it's just,
MLK. He won the 97 Pulitzer Prize. So this is a man who was very pro. Did I say?
You said 90, 87.
87.
Yeah.
And the FBI surveillance audio will be released in 2027. I don't know why they picked that year. I have no idea.
Specific year?
Later, They're like, oh, crap, it's getting closer.
So here's something that you probably know that MLK, for example, let's start with this. Supported peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That is true. Sometimes.
Oh, God. He's going to fucking say stuff about Martin Luther King that he's going to think is like bad, but I'm going to agree with. I suspect. I suspect he's about to talk about how MLK also, of course, understood that, riots are the language of the unheard, and that, of course, peaceful protests sometimes get out of hand, and that's also understandable. What is way worse is the racial subjugation that black people were subjected to. Oh, my God. Can't wait for him to say some based ass shit about MLK. Let's see. Maybe this isn't all that bad.
He also had some pretty, I guess you could say, unsavory opinions about riots that I do think.
I don't know why so many of you fucking weirdos think that just because you're a 9-month subscriber or that or one of the Hoscord guides, Resident Quasar, wants me to watch a Boots Riley fucking take, that I'm going to watch it or listen to it. Okay? Shut the fuck up, chatters, and also the Resident Quasar, the Discord guide. Shut the fuck up, okay? He's still spamming. Oh, my Lord. I am going to ban you.
Need to be considered because a lot of people don't know this part.
And continue to say to my brothers and sisters that this is not the way. Continue to affirm that there is another way. But at the same time, it is as necessary for me to be as vigorous in condemning the conditions which cause persons to feel that they must engage in riotous activities as it is for me to condemn riots.
I agree with everything, so that's far.
Wait, they vandalized the statue of Lincoln because it was racist? Yeah, what the fuck is this, bro? Is this real? Is this an actual fucking statue of Abraham Lincoln? What the fuck? Yo, white people really need to stop. This is this is fucking so gross, dude. Holy shit, this is literally white savior. Oh my God, this is such weirdo behavior, dude. I swear to God. It was designed and paid for by black people. Holy fuck, dude. Oh my Lord. Even then. Ugh. Also, I love when people fucking point to this instance, okay? I love when people point to this and go, okay, well, there you go, owned. This statue of Abraham Lincoln that was desecrated. Okay, well, 99.9% of the statues are of Confederate generals. So, okay, this one is bad. Are you happy? That doesn't disprove that all of those other disgusting Confederate general monuments should be melted. I don't think you have a... I don't think that, you have a problem with that, right? Like, because you're not bringing that up. You're bringing this up because you hate when statues of Lincoln are destroyed, but you shouldn't have a problem with the statues of Confederate generals being destroyed, right? Okay, good. There's a fucking fascio on it, for fuck's sake. No, it doesn't matter. The fascist was like, yes. I mean, it also has all of these imagery. This imagery right here was utilized by the American Bund movement as well. Every single part of this, including the shield, including obviously the fasces, which is what fascists use, where that comes from.
5 months brain rot. Let's go hassle.
But the fasces is all around. It's all of this imagery has always been around like American iconography. The shield was a big Bund American
months.
Bund symbol.
Point.
Anyway, none of this matters. Designed and sculpted by Thomas Ball and erected in 1876, the monument depicts Abraham Lincoln holding a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation freeing a male African-American slave. Modeled by Archer Alexander, the ex-slave is depicted on one knee about to stand up with one fist clenched, shirtless, broken shackles on the president's feet. Yeah, it's fucking kind of gross, but what are you going to do? As much as I don't like Russia, I do like its relaxed rules about arsenic charges just because of this. Thank you, white man. I mean, it's just like, for the record, this could have been commissioned and made by a black person. That doesn't change the reality that the symbolism here is still exactly the same, which is celebrating the profound achievements of white people who freed the slaves ultimately. Okay? Where the fuck is it coming from? Well, okay, maybe it wasn't actually, as that chatter lied, made by a black person. Why did the fucking chatter say this was a black person who made this? So that chatter just straight up lied? What the fuck? It was paid for, made and funded by black people. Good to know. Okay. Regardless, this is such a fucking random aside and so stupid and ultimately has nothing to do with the main conversation that we're having. Fuck the Confederacy. Fuck the symbols of Confederacy. The irony is that all of those symbols of Confederacy are created to actually revise history, not the other way around, to make it seem like the Confederacy fought for something honorable when it didn't, and they got rolled, cumstered, dumpstered, and you're a pathetic fucking loser if you try to keep that momentum alive in 2022, okay? It is a seditionist, loser fucking movement that wanted to enslave humans or continue enslaving humans. They're pathetic little fucking cowards, and they died like fucking dogs. And the worst thing that the American government did was not go further in the destruction that it should have brought upon every single slaver. And material restitution in the form of the actual 3 acres and a mule that they said that they were going to give every black person.
I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air.
Did I say 3? I'm at 40. I'm sorry.
Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. What is it that America has?
Oh, no, sweaty. Not good. I love this, dude. I love Steven Crowder being like, not good. Not good, MLK. No, no, no.
Failed to hear. It is
By the way, I called it.
failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the
Hate
last
speech.
few years.
Oh my God, they're literally doing every meme I just brought up. Now he's saying it's fucking hate speech. Because he's saying, you know, the outdated old way of saying black person.
It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again.
See, and that's the problem, is the open-endedness to it, because,
Yeah.
well, what is justice? Well, right now people are saying, oh, injustice is there are too many Asians at Stanford.
So he's saying that MLK, this speech is oftentimes used by both sides of the conversation, both sides of the aisle, on the necessity of like violence in a political movement. Okay, some will say there's some that are like, oh, there's never any like there should never ever be a riot ever. Like that's bullshit. We'll turn around and point to that speech and say, look, even MLK is actually condemning it. People don't understand it. And then the people who do say, yes, violence is an understandable consequence of any sort of movement that is pushing against, that is fighting against unjustifiable hierarchies, will then point to that and say violence is the voice of the voiceless, or riots are the voice of the, unheard, right? Ultimately, I think what he's doing there is obviously trying to abide by the competing interests of being a leader in a movement that oftentimes is subjected to unjustifiable violence. I hate MLK Day because white people talk about it all day like, Jesus Christ, shut up. I'm so close to banning you, motherfucker. You understand me? On MLK Day too.
So let's burn down a Walgreens.
Yeah.
Keith Made Me is the only person who has never actually, maybe he does not mean you. No, I know he doesn't mean me, but I took offense to it, especially because he's the only chatter who has never learned anything new in this community. And like, he's just gotten worse every day that he's in here.
It needs to be more
Exactly.
specific than
You need
that.
to be a little more specific, and let me be clear too, at another 1967 speech, and we'll get to the crack whores, and we'll get to the orgies, we'll get to all.
What crack whores, bro? What crack did not exist when MLK was alive? What is he saying? Like, the only reason why he keeps saying crack whores is because like he's a racist piece of shit. He's associating crack with black people. That's it. What crack, motherfucker? You dumb bitch. What are you talking about? Like, where was the fucking crack at that point?
All of that, which a lot of you
Hey.
don't know about
What?
MLK. 5 things you don't know about MLK. Bet you didn't expect to hear MLK and crack whores
What?
today. I have a dream of non-crack whores at a Motel 6.
Nope. No.
I don't think crack existed.
You wouldn't
then.
go Motel 6.
I'm probably not.
Yeah,
just
Motel 8.
just whores in general then. So a 67 speech, King
Oh, even his fucking racist peanut gallery was like, yo, honestly, crack did not exist back then. Maybe you should fucking dial it back. Love that.
said, urban riots are a special form of violence. They are not insurrections. Disagree.
Good to know.
Said the rioters are not seeking to seize territory to attain control of institutions, which today they are. That's their stated goal. Black Lives.
That's idiotic. That's idiotic. That's idiotic. Is he not gonna read it? They're mainly intended to shock
They're
the white
mainly
community?
intended to shock the white community. The looting enables the most enraged and deprived, I'm using his word here, Negro to take hold of consumer goods with the ease the white man does by using his purse. This goes on a lot. If you look at some of his statements regarding riots and regarding violent protest, it's worse than I thought. I thought he kind of both sides it. He actually more often encouraged violent protesting than he discouraged.
Oh man, that's so sad. What the fuck? Oh dude, what a bummer. Yeah. Oh no, he was so much cooler than you thought he was. That's awesome. I want him to talk even further about this shit, okay? Yeah, turns out, hey, guess what? MLK, you thought he was cool. Guess what? He's a lot cooler than you previously thought he was. That is awesome.
Discouraged it, and that is probably disappointing to a lot of people.
Yeah, he's making excuses for people basically losing their minds. Look, I get it. There was so much injustice. I have no idea how I would feel, but I probably wouldn't then go and burn down or rob a local store owned by other black people in my community.
Right.
That's the
And
thing.
I would never justify it and say, well, it is just as easy as a white man using his purse. Well, first of all, men and purses, this was beginning of the
I'm talking about Europe, Gerald A.
It's not a European man bag, Stephen. All right?
So do you support right-wing violent protests then? No, I do not. Do you want to know why? Because you already said they're right-wing violent protests. Okay? I don't know why people come in here and think that I'm going to feed them that same kind of bullshit narrative that they hear from Fox News and CNN, that they are somehow like unbiased and you're going to be hearing objective analysis from me, okay? Everyone has biases. I at least tell you what mine are, okay? I think that there's a difference between good things and bad things. I do not care about, looking at an action devoid of its context. You also do not care about that either. Every human does not care about that. That is a completely idiotic fucking take. The difference between, murder in the fucking first degree and someone saving themselves from a violent perpetrator is whether that action is justifiable or not. Okay? You already know that. You already fucking know that.
Let's all pull our money.
If someone
out
is
of
trying
the
to
bank at the
fucking
same
kill you,
time.
if someone breaks into your house and is trying to murder you with a gun and you fight back, let's say you are the liberal driller. Okay, let's say you're driving around in your fucking Prius and an ex-GOP legislator in his fucking dipshit BMW tries to fucking fight you in a parking lot in Florida, a couple blocks down from his house. Okay? Let's say he gets into his BMW and then fucking starts pushing your Prius with his BMW and you're stuck. You're stuck in your Prius, okay? Let's say then the ex-GOP legislator pulls his gun out and starts shooting at you. And then you fucking absolutely laser him in the fucking dome. The small amount of brain matter that he already had to operate a fucking vehicle is all over the fucking front seat of his BMW. He's dead. He's gone. In that specific hypothetical that seems like a real event, but it is, of course, a hypothetical, the liberal driller is totally in the fucking right. Okay? Yeah, the Prius bandit. He is in the right to fucking absolutely dome the GOP legislator who tried to kill him. Okay? That is not in a video game. That is not a hypothetical. That actually happened.
It seems that he doesn't clarify, or he's flip-flops, because there is another interview where he specifically says that riots are against the black community, because then the same thing that we've said before in 2020, it destroys their
The irony of a pasty white boy wearing a fight like hell shirt, tone policing
No
MLK
video
about
games or
violence. Yeah.
hypotheticals. Let's go.
own community.
Yeah.
Wait, what? That's crazy. What is this? Oh my God, a Florida GOP official killed during insane road rage shootout after ramming a Toyota Prius with his BMW. What? What? One shot, one kill? What? Oh my God, are you smoking on the Kuzwanski pack right now? What the fuck? That's crazy. Wait, when was this? Only a few days ago? That's insane, bro. Stop. Stop. Can't believe that happened, bro. That's crazy. So yes, not all violence is the same.
And it does the opposite of what you want it to do. And he says you can you can kill a murderer, but you can't kill murder.
Well,
You can
Pops
stop that
Crowders
stuff.
here, the Detroit riots, which you were alive
God,
with,
he is so bad.
or that really hurt the white man, right, in his purse.
We didn't feel it at all.
No. But yeah, he needs to.
We
Whenever he
stayed out of
says
the
stuff like
fray.
that, he should have
Yeah.
combined it with what he said later in a different interview.
Yeah.
It hurts the black community to do this, and then say they do this because they're being
Oppressed.
oppressed.
You know what must
It's
be
not a
condemned
good
just
thing.
as vigorously
You have to
is the
condemn it.
harming of your own community. That's what
Yeah,
needs to be
exactly.
condemned
That's
just
right.
as vigorously. Think of the Detroit riots.
Yeah.
And then they blamed what? White flight, Detroit riots. Like, well, first off, that's not what happened. Second, you burned down your own communities in Detroit.
Yeah.
Black people were
Again, this goes back to the exact same fucking attitude at its heart that black people are violent and have uncontrollable urges. Like, he's literally just doing white supremacist agitprop. He's trying to be, he's trying to hide it. Obviously, he's not saying it out loud like that. I mean, he is saying it out loud. He's fucking bullhorning it for sure. Like, on this day, dude, you know, this is the Christmas of MLK, okay?
harmed. And you know who got the worst end of that stick? Was black police officers. They had to go home in unmarked cars because they were being picked off by snipers on rooftops.
Right.
You cannot find examples of riots from the 1970s onward that were targeted specifically, let's say, against just white people, which would be racist, but at least would just
Wait, what? Is Steven Crowder saying black people should just target white people specifically? Okay, first of all, cool. Interesting take. I'm just going to say. But secondly, bro, that would never happen. Because when people are upset, they try to organize a protest. And then that protest is like, you know, allowed to exist in the confines of certain neighborhoods. Cops will never let black people go into a white neighborhood or a rather rich neighborhood and protest in that rich neighborhood. Are you fucking insane? That's why the extent of the Rodney King riots went into K-Town, and that actual segments of white society, polite society, capital owners were cordoned off by police forces, aka Beverly Hills. Okay?
make maybe sense. No, it ends up hurting people in their own community, and that needs to be condemned just as vigorously. Oh, well, we don't find that writing. Maybe it's because you were too busy with number two when we're talking about things that you may not have known about MLK. Worked with communists.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, that's so bad, man. That's so bad. That's crazy. Dude, double-based.
closely. And I don't mean that in the sort of sense where people are like, pinko commie. I mean, one of his top advisors was a guy named Stanley Levison. Okay? And he was a member of the Communist Party until 1956. And he secretly gave MLK Jr. $10,000 just 1 year after meeting him.
That's a lot of thousands.
Yeah, adjusted to today's dollars, that'd be about $87,000.
Wow. That's a big donation.
That's a lot more thousands than I thought.
Seems like an odd number, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to give
Inflation.
you $87,000.
Can't you round this shit to 90? I have a dream.
I have a dream to have a big purse.
All you
Just
white,
like the one, man.
white devils with your Gucci's and your Michael Kors.
Shock demons everywhere I go.
Dude, this is like, it's so bad. This is like Black Bruno levels of bad. Well, not Black Bruno. This is White Bruno doing that fucking rap music video where he's like, I don't hit women and I don't do the stabbing. Like, you know what I'm talking about? In Black White, when he like plays the fucking tape of him doing a different kind of rap music. And then everyone is just like, at this point, they're like, okay, you're just trying to get a rise out of everybody. And you're, you know, it's just not good. It's just really fucking, yeah, okay.
And your Louis Vuittons, I have a dream. So FBI counteragent Carl Prussian, and again, this is from the biography, just to be clear. So I know that the FBI isn't always a reliable source, but they did wiretap, which I think is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
However, we also have to acknowledge the facts and reality as it relates to MLK's life. You see a progression of him becoming more and more radical. Some people argue.
Wait, so is he gonna say it's bad that like he had a speechwriter slash confidant that's a communist? Like, what was the why is it bad? Is there like, did we just move on from that point? Like, I wanted to hear more about what the fuck what's wrong about that. They just, I don't know. They just did black scent, you know, or not even black scent, but like they were doing MLK, but like with really just idiotic like 90s racist stereotypes about black people.
Argue it's because of drug use. Some people argue it's just fame is corrosive to the human soul, but he wasn't the guy who a lot of people praise. Sort of like I've talked about this with Muhammad Ali. It's the flip side, where people with Muhammad Ali don't realize that Muhammad Ali, who was a draft dodger, who was a known racist, who was...
Wait, but so was fucking Donald Trump. And Muhammad Ali actually did it in an incredibly honorable, for incredibly honorable reasons. What the fuck? Wait, draft dodger? What is this like? Are we in the 60s again? Like Steven Crowder is like, Muhammad Ali was a draft dodger. Oh! That bastard is dodging the draft. He should go to jail.
Was against intermarrying, against race mixing. Later on in his life, actually moved out to the suburbs and not only supported Ronald Reagan, campaigned for white Mormon Orrin Hatch.
Oh, wow.
But no one talks about that with Muhammad Ali. People change. If you change the wrong way, you'll notice there's a span of Muhammad Ali's.
Yeah, because he did awesome shit in the beginning that you criticized and said was bad. And then he turned around and fucking campaigned for a dude who said African diplomats are monkeys? Like, that's not great. Also, I don't know if he knows this, but he did have a lot of brain damage. So, you know, that is a thing. Steven Crowder only likes people when they change for the worse, not for the better.
Life where he really wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't given the same kind of shine. And then, of course, when he died, we go back to when he was young, when he would say he was young and naive and ignorant. How about once he grew up and apologized for the race baiting and calling Joe Frazier a house Negro and an Uncle Tom. And he said, I shouldn't have done that, and called Sonny Liston a big, ugly gorilla. This is what Muhammad Ali would do with people. He said, I was wrong, and I moved out to the suburbs because I didn't want to be in those communities anymore because I have children.
Yeah.
Wait, what? So, oh no! He literally said, wait, Muhammad Ali straight up changed for the worse. Okay? And literally just like, you know, was racist about fucking black communities. And I like that. Like, he's just saying, oh, this is great. White Canadian commentary on black American racial politics. YouTube, you think YouTube deplatforms after this? Fuck no, dude. How is Crowder straight up not in jail? In America, you get celebrated for behaving in the way that Steven Crowder does. Why would you go to jail? Hold on. Here it is, by the way, when Muhammad Ali, I did not know this, when Muhammad Ali endorsed Ronald Reagan, Americans were caught off guard, but the move reflected the complexity of the legendary champion's public life. About a month before the presidential election, Muhammad Ali publicly endorsed Ronald Reagan's re-election bid. He also did so against the backdrop of Tony Los Angeles gathering of black Republicans where attendees and members of the media watched in near silence. He's keeping God in schools, and that's enough.
Canada will forever have to hold.
But all
on
these
to Stephen
endorsements, dude.
Crowder.
I only know the Muhammad Ali that I only know the Muhammad Ali that created Muhammad Ali Kempo. Okay, that's the only Muhammad Ali I know. Okay, the one that tried to perfect Muhammad Ali Kempo from Baki. Okay, and he wasn't able to do so because he took a brave stance against. He took a brave stance against American imperialism, and even Yujiro Hanma, aka the Creature, respects him for that, despite the fact that the Creature is the strongest being on the planet. Anyway, let's continue.
Malcolm X, same thing. Later in his life, he rethought his violence attack
Yeah.
rhetoric. He's like, I don't think that was the right way to go, and being connected with the Muslim church.
Yeah.
Who killed
The
him?
Muslim Brotherhood, right? But it
Yeah,
doesn't,
not good.
It doesn't give you what you want, right? So, Darren, how many white people looked at the Detroit riots and were like, "Oh, you know what? They're probably right." Yeah, I totally understand it. How many people from the other side were brought to their cause and like given a chance to see what was going on?
Well, they had to see it through binoculars.
Well, that's true.
Bro, that shit is so. These guys are the Democrats. Okay, I just want to point this out. These guys, Democrats. This is the exact same shit that the Democratic Party talks about with respect to like riots and whatnot. This is exactly the same shit. How will this impact the bottom line of the Democratic Party? Meh, 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 meh. Will anybody vote for this? It's like you guys are the same kind of nerd. Straight up. You have this exact same conversation that like fucking Reddit neoliberals have about the Black Lives Matter protest being too violent. It's not civil.
What about the riots in Los Angeles? Not the first time, but the second time that they
Sweetie, I believe they're burning down Indian Village. There's a bunch of screaming gay men. I don't know.
It doesn't bring people to your cause.
No, of course
people
not.
hate your cause because you're tearing down the city.
Well, MLK became more, so it's the flip side. He became more radical, and so he's venerated. Whereas when Muhammad Ali became more reasonable, they just sort of ignored him for a while. So FBI counteragent Carl Prussian wrote in a sworn affidavit to Congress, I further swear and attest that Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was always set forth as the individual to whom communists should look and rally around in the communist struggle on the many racial issues. I hereby also state that Martin Luther King Jr. has either been a member of or wittingly has accepted support from over 60 communist fronts, individuals, and or organizations which give aid to or espouse communist causes. Number 3, things that might surprise you about MLK. Not only witnessed a rape, didn't do anything about it. 1964, MLK watched as his friend, a Baptist minister, Logan, is it Kearse or Kiersey? I don't know how to pronounce it. Raped a woman at the Willard Hotel in D.C. A lot of you know this. A lot of people don't. Notes from David Garrow. Again, this is the biographer. And the FBI surveillance docs show, which will be released in 2027.
Yep.
The group met in his Kearse's hotel room and discussed which women among the parishioners would be suitable for natural or unnatural sex acts. When one of the women protested that she did not approve of this, the Baptist minister immediately and forcibly raped her. Quoted directly from the FBI notes, surveillance notes, King looked on, laughed, and offered advice.
That's unbelievable. And by the way, just to be clear, the audio tapes will be released in 2027. These notes right now, and this is what the author said, because he's taken all kinds of flack for it. Nobody is challenging the legitimacy of the claims. They're just saying they bugged it. It was the biggest FBI abuse of power they've ever seen because they bugged him and he didn't know. And they bugged everything. And then they started releasing things to try to get this factual information that they had into the right hand so they could smear King. That was it. Not that it was lies.
Right.
You can go to the National Archives right now. Anybody with an internet connection can go and look this up. It is public information.
Well, we have the
Why would the FBI ever lie about such a thing, dude? You know, at the same time that they were just straight up fucking executing. Pokemon, thank you for the subscription. Said, hype to hear your opinion on my drama. I've talked about it before, but, you know, I'll probably get to it again today. Wait, there's an executing Pokemon? No. No, the FBI at the time was executing black leaders. Not Pokemon. I wonder if they would have, I don't know,
The
Engaged
FBI
in,
killed King a year to the day of his
misinformation
Riverside
campaign.
church speech. Keep rocking, Hassan.
Oh no, he didn't see the new stuff.